Okay, we're going to start with the book report from the Black Lagoon. We're going to do chapters 1 through 3 together, and then you'll be doing chapters 4 through 11 independently. I'm going to go through and show you how to start reading and getting more in depth into your reading by questioning. First, we want to look at the book cover. Okay? On the book cover, it has two characters. When you look inside, you find out that the teacher is Mrs. Green. The little boy is Hubie. Let's see what happens. Okay, as we look at the page, we're looking at on here. Chapter 1, Read My Lips. Mrs. Green wants us to write a book report in 2 weeks on a real book. Not a picture book, not a comic book, but a real book with chapters. Why is Hubie questioning this? I think to myself, could he be not wanting to read a real book? Does he want to do it on a comic book? Let's see what it says. I asked her if I could write a movie report or a video game report, and she said no. I'm a slow reader. It takes me 3 minutes to read a stop sign. I'll never do it. I'm doomed. So that answered my question is, does he not want to do it? But look here, stop sign. What are we waiting for, the little dog is asking. Okay, next page. Chapter 2, Sleeping on the Job. I wonder what this could be about. Mrs. Green marches us to the library to pick out our books. What kind of books do you think Hubie's going to want? Mrs. Beamster is there to help us. I don't think she can help me. I'm beyond help. What are you interested in, Hubie? I'm interested in not writing a book report. What subjects do you like? There are books on just about everything. Baseball, football, auto racing, history, mystery, and even spies. I'm interested in sleeping. So it sounds like Hubie doesn't want to do this. Think to myself, why does he only want to sleep? Why doesn't he want to do the book report? Mrs. Beamster smiles. She goes to the shelf and brings back Rip Van Winkle. It's about a guy who falls asleep for 20 years. He should get a new alarm clock. Do you think this would be a good book for Hubie? What is he interested in? He's interested in sleeping. So Rip Van Winkle slept for 20 years. Next she brings me Sleeping Beauty, about a princess who falls asleep for 100 years until a prince comes along and kisses her on the lips. Eck! Talk about morning mouth. After going through the shelves of books, I finally pick Robin Hood. Mrs. Beamster says it's exciting and even has a few pictures. I like pictures. So let's predict. Do you think he will want to do it on this book? I think he's going to say that it's too much for him to read. Okay. Chapter 3, Book Talk. On the bus, all the kids are talking about their book reports. Boring. Eric says he's going to do the phone book. He must be kidding. I've got his number. Freddie has a cookbook. That's a recipe for disaster. Doris chose a book about ballet. That will keep her on her toes. Randy's got a book all about the planets, far out. And Derek's reading a thesaurus. Is that about dinosaurs? Hubie's thinking to himself, maybe I should have gotten a book on robins instead of Robin Hood. I wonder how many Smiths and Joneses are in the Los Angeles phone book. That must be Eric. I'm going to find out how many recipes use chocolate. For Freddie, a cavalier is the male partner of a ballerina. That would be Doris. Pluto is called a dwarf planet, and it's the farthest planet from the sun. That would be Randy. Happy, joyful, fortunate, lucky. Sounds like Derek. My favorite meat is bacon. So, we've gotten their book so far. What do you think Hubie's going to do? He's done Robin Hood, so let's think. Will Hubie be able to understand it? If it takes him 3 minutes to read a stop sign, do you think he'll be able to read all these pages? Let's find out. What's your book, Hubie? Asks everyone. I take out my book. It's big. It's heavy. It's full of words. I put it in my book bag. Hey, Eric said, I saw the movie. It's about a guy in green pajamas who lives in the forest and shoots arrows. Is that it? I asked. That's it. I wonder why it took the author so many words to say it. This is too easy. Another bullseye, Robin. Okay, so what do you think, or what do I think is going to happen? I think he's going to actually read the book and enjoy it. It's going to be more information than he really wanted to know about, but I think it's going to get him interested in reading more books. Okay, so another question I'm going to ask myself is, how long do you think his book report is going to be? Do you think he'll do a slow one? Do you think he'll actually, do you think I've asked myself, do you think he'll be reading the book or watching the movie? I think he's going to read the book because they talk about it being about a guy in pajamas shooting arrows. So he's going to try to read it to see if he can find all those parts and to understand why the author, in Hubie's words, wrote so many words about shooting arrows and wearing pajamas. Okay, so class, you're going to finish reading. I have a sheet that you can fill out, that you have your questions that you ask yourself at the beginning of the chapter, and then find the answers within the book if you have them. Okay,